everyone. I'm Durrell. I'm Elliot, and we're
Durrelliott.
Today we have a special guest, Capri. Do you mind introducing yourself?
Of course. My name is Capri Everitt, and I'm a singer and songwriter.
Sweet, Capri, sweet.
Thanks.
So we have a few questions for you, if you don't mind.
Of course.
So the first question is: you mentioned you're a singer, so you had the chance to sing the national anthem in 80 countries between the years of 2015 and 16. Can you explain to us what that was like?
So, I was part of this, or my family and I started this event called Around the World in 80 Anthems, where we traveled to 80 countries, and I sang each country's national anthem in their national language, and then kind of the point of all of that was to raise money for a charity called SOS Children's Villages.
That's so cool. So you said you sung it in 80 different languages?
No, so I learned 80 different countries' national anthems, which ended up being in 41 different languages.
Whoa, that's pretty
some
cool.
of them, there were like 16 in Spanish that I had to learn, and like 2
Yeah.
in French and stuff. So,
Was that pretty hard? I can imagine.
It was definitely very hard. I don't really know how 5th grade me did it.
5th grade? What?
Yeah.
You did that in 5th grade? How?
Yeah. I learned them all in grade 5, and then we did the thing in grade 6, and we spent like 3 to 4 days per country, so it was pretty fast.
Oh, can we ask you a little bit? What was it like during visiting different countries? Did you have a chance to like walk around and stuff, or was it just strictly business?
We definitely we stayed with a bunch of people in a bunch of different countries that were from the charity that we were raising money for. So we got to they showed us around the cities that we were staying in. So we really got a feel of what the country was like.
That's pretty cool. So out of those countries you visited, which would you say is your favorite?
That's a pretty hard one. I really liked Japan was pretty cool, to be honest, and then a lot of countries in South America were really kind of amazing to be able to visit too, and the people were really nice there, so that was nice.
That's pretty cool. So could you ever see yourself living in one of those countries?
I don't know if I would live. I would love to live in Canada or the US, because I live in Canada right now, but I would definitely want to visit those places again and stay there for longer.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So, you say you like it over there in Canada?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Where are you guys from?
From the States, United States.
Fun.
Yeah. I've been to Canada twice, I think so.
Where?
Was it Quebec? No. It was It wasn't Ontario. It wasn't Ontario, no.
Was it Toronto?
Hamilton.
Yeah, that's super close to Toronto. I've never been there before, but I've been to Toronto a few times. It's like the other side from where I live.
Yeah, tell us about that. That's one place I always want to visit.
Yeah, that's actually where I recorded a lot of my songs, because my producers are based there. I'm in Vancouver, which is like a 5-hour flight away, but my producers are there, so I went there to record 3 of my first kind of songs, and then I flew my producers came to Vancouver the second time I made songs. So yeah.
Pretty cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. So you were talking about the national anthems. So you're actually in the Guinness Book of World Records for most national anthems sung in their host countries in 1 year. So can you tell us?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. How does that feel to have made a world record at such a young age and seeing your name in the record book?
It's pretty cool. I mean, I still have the Guinness World Record. It's put up in my house in the wall downstairs, and every time someone comes in, they're like, "Whoa, what's that?" So it's kind of a really cool story to tell. But we went into the offices in London, where they're based, and they had no idea. We didn't make an appointment or anything, and at first they were turning us away, and they were like, well, you can't just come in and get a record, that's not how it works. But then we told the receptionist the story, and then the people from the offices like came down to meet us, and then they invited us up to their office, and I got to do an interview and stuff like that. And then they put me in the 2017 book, so it was really cool.
So do you ever think that record will be broken?
I doubt it. It was very intense traveling to those 80 countries, because the record is actually for most national anthems sung in their countries in 1 year. So if someone were to beat my record, they would have to do over 80 anthems within a year, like in all those different countries. So I personally don't see anyone breaking it in the near future.
Yeah,
just imagine that you were in the 6th grade doing
you
this.
did that in 6th grade.
I can barely sing a song on the radio.
I could remember a song. Or like,
yeah.
I wasn't that influenced, man.
So can you talk about like how mentally strong you have to be to do that? That's crazy.
I mean, it took a lot of practice. I had to practice like 3 hours a day, like these different songs in these different languages, and I had to like try and make sure that I wasn't pronouncing anything wrong, because if I went into these places and like sang their national anthem wrong, like I don't think they would be very happy with that, because people take that very seriously in a lot of places. And then in some places, like we were in Serbia, and I had this interview with like the news there, and I was riding on the train because that's how we got there, and I was trying to learn the anthem because I didn't like learn it that far beforehand, and then I found out that I had to sing it that night, like in the country, and I was kind of freaking out about that a little bit, but I managed to learn it, and I still don't know how, because it must have been so like nerve-wracking for me, but yeah.
Man, that's crazy. So, like, what were your like? Did you have a lot of nerves? And like, well, how did the pressure feel on you when you were doing those?
Yeah, so I definitely got used to singing in front of more people. By the end, I sang in front of we ended off in the US. I sang at a Washington Nationals baseball game, and then I sang at a Toronto Blue Jays game. And so for those, I was definitely more nervous, because it's like 20,000 people that you're singing in front of, like 20,000, 40,000. So that was a lot of people to sing in front of, but luckily I'd had experience singing in front of more, like lots of people around the world, so I definitely got used to it. And then the more you're used to it, like the less nerves you get, I guess.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
were these events all sporting events, or just what were they?
So it depended on the country. So for some of the countries, we had like these really big elaborate events planned by the people in the country from the charities. So like for instance, in Uruguay, I sang at like a big festival, which was pretty cool. They like got me on stage, and I opened their event. So I opened like quite a few events when we were going around the world to the different countries. And so I would be singing in front of like hundreds of people. And then in some countries, I would sing in front of like less crowds, but then like 5 different news stations. So it depended on the country, but most of the time I got a pretty good response.
Pretty cool.
That's honestly sounds like a fun story to tell.
Yeah, kind of is.
Yeah, that's insane.
I'd be so nervous up there. I'd probably throw up on the stage.
Yeah, honestly.
I think I almost did a few times, but.
Oh yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like you saying, you gotta be mentally tough to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might have forgot the words.
Oh, I was so terrified of forgetting the words. Actually, this past summer, I was singing at a big netball tournament. It's like this sport that they play in England. And it was in Liverpool, and I had to sing 16 different national anthems throughout 4 days, and I had to sing 4 times a day to open these netball games. And there were it was in a big stadium. There were thousands of people there. I was always like on TV, like, and they were playing it around the world on the TVs. So I had to remember those 16 different national anthems, and I had to learn some, like Zimbabwe and Sri Lanka. And I was so terrified that I was going to forget the words, and then all the people from the country that were watching me were going to like boo me or something. But thankfully that didn't happen.
Have you ever sung like ever spoke a different language in a different country by accident?
I feel like I've confused countries before, because some people would request like different anthems, and I feel like a few times I might have sung the wrong, especially in like the Spanish countries where their anthems are very, very similar and they're all in the same language. I feel like I might have messed up a few of those a few times, but I try not to.
Oh yeah.
I think, man. So, do you ever plan? Are you totally done with national anthems, or do you keep doing them?
So I did have a plan to sing at the Dallas World Cup, the Dallas Girls World Cup, in Texas.
Oh, that's dope.
In well, it happened in April, and I was supposed to go there this year, but then COVID.
Yes,
Coronavirus.
So
Yep.
and
man.
and I also sung at like an NBA game in New Orleans in November. So I do sing anthems still, not as many as I did before, only if they're for like special events, because I'm trying to move into be like a pop singer and write my own songs and stuff like that. So
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that. We saw that.
yeah, so I just released 3 new songs this past year that I recorded in December with Kuya Productions,
okay.
who are my production people from Toronto I was telling you about earlier. And they discovered like
Yep.
Alessia Cara, if you've heard of her. They've worked with Christina Aguilera and Little Mix and lots.
Wait. Oh, I don't mean to cut you
Yeah, of
off,
course.
but Alessia Cara, she has short hair.
I'm not sure.
Maybe I might be. She made Wild Things.
Yes, yeah,
Is that correct?
that's her. She's Canadian.
Okay, I know.
as
I know.
well.
I got it.
Yeah. So, I wrote songs with them and I released them this year. One of them has over 200,000 streams right now, and it's called Breathe.
Ooh.
And then the other one that I released just like a month ago, I think, has 100,000 streams. So, yeah.
So you're pretty much the next big thing.
Hopefully.
So you say you released 3 new ones. Are they? Where can we find these at?
You can find them on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, honestly, whatever.
Oh, so you're on TikTok.
I am on TikTok, yes.
So are there any music videos coming out soon for these songs?
I don't really know exactly at the moment because, music videos take people and people takes no social distancing, which I don't know if it has stopped where you guys live, but it hasn't where I live. So I would love to do music videos at some point, but I don't know exactly when that will be. Yeah. Oh, and
Okay.
but I have some out for my songs. I have like lyric videos out that I kind of had made in quarantine. So those are on YouTube if you want to see them.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll check it out. So, do you have like ideas for what you want in your music videos, or like you just like, I don't know yet?
I kind of have I had general ideas for what I wanted for Caught Up and Breathe. For Breathe, it's kind of like a slower, more like intimate song. So I was gonna do something with just a couple dancers in like a hotel room or kind of like that kind of setting. And then for Caught Up, it's more of a upbeat song. So I really wanted to do like a party scene for it. I thought that was gonna be like really fun, but I don't know when that's
Party
gonna happen
sounds fun.
because I would probably need more than
yeah.
around like 50 people for it. Yeah.
You taking open applications?
Pardon?
You taking open applications?
Yes, for sure.
I'm always for a party. Oh yeah, for a party for sure. That sounds intriguing.
Thank you.
Yep. So, what do you see yourself doing in the future? Like,
do you want to continue singing?
You want to continue singing?
Just not
just like songwriting, or like you want to go on tour eventually? Maybe.
I would love to go on tour. I actually got invited to be part of this tour that was happening in the US. It's called High School Nation, and I don't know if you've heard of it, but they have some headliners sometimes joining them. They tour and they do like this kind of outdoor music festival for students, and there's usually like 2,000 to 4,000 people at each concert. And so I got invited to go on tour with them, and like people like Hollywood Records and Disney Records book a slot at each show. So there's always like kind of big people there. So I got invited to go on tour with them, but there has been no confirmation whether or not that is going to happen because it's a music festival. So, but hopefully at some point I do end up doing that and hopefully touring in the future because I ultimately would love to become a singer and to pursue that.
Okay, so that sounds pretty exciting. I'm sorry, I don't know if I heard. I'm not sure if we asked you this or you answered it, but what type of genre is your music?
I am mostly pop. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's pretty cool. So, if you could collab with anyone in the future, who would it be? Like, if you can have anyone on your song,
Like,
who would you pick?
Like they call you up right now, Capri.
Or you can call them up and say, hey,
okay,
I want you on my song right now.
I think that I would do one with Ariana Grande because she's like my favorite artist, and I take a lot of inspiration from her songs, and I love that kind of genre that her songs are, and her voice is just incredible. So probably if I could collab with anyone in the world, it would be Ariana Grande.
Okay, so if you had to say, like, if you had to pick one person who you would say your style is like in the music industry, would it be her or would it be someone else?
I would say probably her, yeah. Or like Mariah Carey. I love that kind of R&B kind of 90s feel that their songs are. So some of my older stuff isn't like that, but definitely Caught Up. I took a lot of inspiration from her songs. So, yeah.
That's amazing. We're you don't know, you can see our faces, we're impressed.
Thank you.
No problem. So now we're gonna move a little bit into a different direction, if
of
you
course.
don't mind. So you've done a little bit of activism.
Yes.
So we heard about your thing, SOS Children's Villages, which is awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
Also, we like to ask you, have you been doing any other type of activism lately?
So I have, and I just recently I'm working on a collab with this artist called Michaela, and she DM'd me a few days ago. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she's actually not a real person. She's like, she's like a robot influencer, but she's run by this company out of Silicon Valley. She has 2.2 million followers on Instagram, who are real people. But she has songs out, music videos out, and she wanted me to be part of this collab that is raising money for Music Cares, which is it's helping artists during COVID to survive and because they can't perform. And so hopefully I'm going to help a lot with Music Cares, that charity. And then last year when I sang at the Dallas World Cup, I donated my fee to SOS as well. And yeah.
So she's a robot.
She is a robot, yes. Oh, and one more thing, sorry. I did a song called Girl Stand Up, which I wrote with the intention of kind of helping with girls' rights, and I did a music video to it that actually got some attention by this competition called CBC Searchlight. It's a Canada-wide music contest, and my song actually placed in the top 10, which was really amazing.
You serious? Goodness, you're just making all these milestones. Just crazy.
Yeah.
No problem. So, besides what you just mentioned, is there anything else, or is that just it at the moment?
That's it for the moment. I'm definitely hoping to do more of that in the future, more stuff like Girl Stand Up, because it was honestly really fun, and I hope that it kind of helped to do some I kind of hope that it helped in some ways with girl empowerment, and I hope that it reached people that it helped, if that makes any sense.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm still wrapping my mind around the fact that you said it's a robot.
Oh, I know. You should check out her Instagram.
That's nuts.
She just broke up with her real life boyfriend. I don't know how that works, but yeah, on social media, and she's sponsored by brands like Prada and stuff, and so she wears their stuff, but into her Instagram posts.
I think I've seen her before.
So she goes outside.
Well, she she has pictures outside, but she doesn't like. She's not like a robot that you can touch. She's just exists on a screen, and like someone has like. She's CGI basically.
So she got more drip than me. She
has more followers than me.
Man, that's
I know,
nuts.
right? So weird.
How will she perform live?
I
You bring her
don't think she
A
does.
laptop on the screen? On
I
the
don't think
stage?
she ever will,
Man.
to be honest.
Yeah, let's hope she
Yeah,
doesn't.
that would be, really weird.
Okay. Okay, so this is even crazier. You had a chance to do a TEDx talk? Am I correct?
did, yes. In Mumbai, India.
Wait, can I ask you one more thing?
Oh, that's dope.
You know who does TEDx talks, right?
Who?
The best of the best.
Thank you.
No problem.
It-
So can you tell us
it was
about
a really
that?
cool experience. I spoke at the biggest TEDx in Asia, and it was called TEDx Gateway. And so I flew out there, really long plane ride, and I got the opportunity to sing a little bit. I sang a few national anthems, and I also did a speech which took literally 20 rewrites. It was insane, and I got the final version like a week before I actually had to say it. And I that week I just spent practicing all the time, but it was definitely worth it because I got to meet some really amazing people, and it was just a really overall great and unique experience.
That's insane. I'm honestly mind blown.
Thank you.
Literally TEDx talk. Goodness. Especially in a different country.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's insane.
So is there anything else that you do that we do not know about? Because like it seems like you do everything.
I mean, I just started
Sports?
a TikTok account recently. So I've been working a lot on that. I
Yeah.
try to post like 1 to 3 times a day.
Shout it out. Let the people know.
So guys, go follow that. My username's just Capri Everitt. It's my name. So pretty easy.
Okay.
I have around like 30,000 followers, and I'm trying to grow it even more. So yeah.
See, TikTok's so hard though to me because I'm not a dancer.
Yeah.
And it seems like everything on TikTok is based around
There's
dancing.
definitely a lot that's based around dancing. I dance a bit, but I try and do other things too. Like I post singing videos and different types of videos as well, like fashion videos and trending videos. I try to do some funny ones sometimes as well.
I know TikTok actually is addicting. The app is very addicting. You can stay on there for 3 to 4 hours.
Oh, I know, it's crazy.
I mean,
and then you go to somewhere like Instagram or something after, and you're like, wow, this is boring.
Oh, for sure. Like it makes me want to delete Instagram and Twitter sometimes.
I know. It's just so much more like
I'm
fun.
like, yes. So sometimes I go on TikTok for like a certain amount of time, and I clear off the app, and then I just go right back on it. I'm like, I don't know why I just did that, but it's like
it's
almost like
an addiction.
Yeah, it's like a mixture of pretty much all the platforms in just one. And it's always great content you see. Like you never get bored on it.
I know, it's really crazy. So I think it's gonna grow even more. So.
Oh, for sure. It's probably gonna be. It's hard. I mean, like you said, it's gonna grow for sure, but it's hard for prediction.
Yeah. So I feel like it's something. I realized it was something I really needed to get on top of, so I started doing lots of work on it. But it takes so long, like filming these TikToks and making sure there's good lighting, and making sure that like the transitions are good. Like there's just so much that goes into it that it's kind of insane.
It is insane because there's so many things, like you said, transitions and all that, and like it could be the simplest thing that you mess up in your video. And likes.
Yeah.
But, like,
and sometimes.
If you catch fire on TikTok, you're pretty much famous after that.
I know.
It's insane.
Sometimes it's like you put out a video and you're like, oh, this one's going to do so well. And then the algorithms like don't pick it up because the people running that app aren't people. They're like robots deciding how famous you're going to get on the app. And you don't know which videos it's going to pick sometimes. So it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the one you least expect. Like you post one just messing around, or like you pick from your drafts.
yeah.
Like, I guess I'll post this one
For sure,
and it blows up.
my weirdest TikTok is the one with the most views. So I don't even know. I did like this weird thing with my arms because there was this trend where you had to like step over your arms, and I like put. Yeah,
you did that?
I did. I
That
have
looks
like
so hard.
hyper flexible shoulders, so then I did something else weird after it. It's like such a weird talent, and I at that time I had like no followers on TikTok because I just started like the week before, and so I just posted this video like, oh, whatever, and it almost has 100,000 views, and so I don't even know what happened.
That's insane. It's weird because like you see the same people pretty much like famous on TikTok, but then you steady seeing like other accounts rise slowly and slowly and slowly. I mean, it's definitely a lot of famous people on there.
And then when you're famous on the app, like you have so many followers because there's so many more people on it.
Yes, it's insane because like 1 million on TikTok is not really a lot.
It's true. Like it's a lot, but then compared to Instagram, like if you have 1 million on Instagram, it's like whoa. But if you have 1 million on TikTok, they're like you're like famous, but not as famous as the people with like 30 million.
Yes, I mean, like you can put a comment, like something silly, and get like 1,000 likes on comments.
Yeah.
Where IG, you probably wouldn't get one. I mean, I like it though because it's allowing influencers and creators to get more recognition.
It's true. It's like the new better YouTube.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're definitely gonna add on some cooler features. Sure. Okay, so we like to ask you another question. So as you grow older, how do you plan on continuing to leave your impact on teenagers?
I would love to kind of continue raising money for different causes that I believe are important, and I hope that to kind of inspire other people to use whatever they like to do, whether that's like singing or dancing or TikToking, to do kind of what they love, but also to make an impact on other people's lives. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool, actually. So, do you also continue to plan on doing it through singing, also? Just making music for them and things like that?
The thing that I collabed with the robot for, I would love to continue doing stuff like that, especially because it raises money for musicians that are struggling. So, I think that's an important thing to do.
That's amazing. You're doing a lot more than other people out here.
Thank you.
No problem. So the last question we'd like to ask you is, do you have any advice for teenagers that are in your area who have the same interests as you? Things like singing and activism, things like that?
Honestly, my advice at the moment would be to get on TikTok. Because I feel like it's gonna go really far, and also it gives people who you can't really get big on Instagram or you can't really get big on YouTube anymore because they're kind of past, but I opportunity to get big on TikTok, and honestly just continue like putting out content, because if you just put out good content, if you're a singer and you have the same interests as me, if you continue creating like cover songs, you can basically do a lot yourself right now, especially in quarantine when people aren't really putting out that much super professional stuff. You just need to create your own content that people will like and do your best to promote it and try and get more followers, and then hopefully something will happen out of it.
That's great advice. I agree when you say people make
honestly, it's kind of ridiculous advice, but I think that it's the most important thing to do right now is social media, because so many people have so much time on their hands, especially right now, and people are getting famous from social media more than anything else. It's not so much even like TV shows anymore. It's like social media is the big one. So I think it's important.
You're totally right. A lot of people are actually getting more famous. Like we look up to social media stars more than
it's
TV
true.
Stars
like
now.
the Disney stars from like the 2000s. Now it's TikTok stars instead.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. We go to them
Exactly.
when we want entertainment, not necessarily them anymore. But like, yeah, I agree when you're saying like, definitely is now the time because you got nothing but time on your hands. So it's time to try things out.
Exactly.
See what works. See what doesn't. You might. Who knows? You might end up catching fire one day.
Yep.
And then it changes your whole life.
Very true.
So we just want to thank you.
Thanks so much
for coming on the podcast.
Me.
Oh yeah, anytime. So, if you don't mind shouting out all your social platforms, we love for people to follow you.
Pretty much, you can find me on any social media platform with my name, Capri Everitt, on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. You can download my songs that I was talking about earlier in the podcast. TikTok, same, Capri Everitt. Twitter, Facebook if you're on it. Yeah, I think that's it.
Make sure you go hit her with a follow.
Bye.
See ya.